I'm basically questioning what is dream and what is reality. And I think that question is important because I think sometimes we see things in a certain way and they may not be what I think is real. I also think there's magic all around us always. And all we need to do is to be present again to it. You know, it's not that it's not there. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So it's, again, we have to be more aware to see the things that may be more, to me, more interesting, more beautiful. So it's up to us. Yes, the world is full of darkness too, you know, and we can't close our eyes to that. But I'm always trying to elevate the spirit by bringing beauty, you know, like even if the message may be about something darker, I'm trying to express it in a beautiful way. Now, I did a piece in '75, which was one of my most well-known pieces, and it was called Real Dream. And the whole idea was that I was in this room that was covered with satin, as I do my rooms in total environments where I was part of it. And in this case, I was pretty almost nude, you know, because it was more like a bird in the nest metaphor, and it had audios. But the idea was when people came in and they saw me through the mirror first, they really felt transported into another place and time. And that's what my installations do, you know. And that's what I'm trying to do by making them, you know, having people experience a different reality. But it's real. I was there, the piece is real. And I think all great art does that.
Another thing that you've worked with a lot is dreams and dreaming. Can you talk a little bit about how your dream life, if it does impact your work, and if you use dream images? And
A lot of ideas come to dreams, and I definitely believe in the power of the subconscious mind, you know. And, you know, Jung did, and many, you know, this is not something new, but I totally believe in it, and it's a source of inspiration to trust, again, what you don't see, that other people might say does not exist or might undermine, you know. And I try to be more and more open to that. And actual dreaming is one of them. Every persona for me is important, every single one of them. Right now I'm Lumière, and I've been Lumière longer than any other persona. And it's not, I don't force them to be born, and I don't force them to die, you know? It's a natural process. Sometimes they bleed.
one over the other.
Exactly. But each persona is a vehicle. It's a muse. It's an inspiration for me. And it creates distance to make a statement. Okay, so Justine appeared in '78. And I think Justine is a very important one in the sense that it's the most prophetic of them all. Because in '78, I already exposed the contradictions of our culture. So I created Justine, who posed as a recording star, you know the story. She posed as a fashion designer, interior designer. She made her own products and was the head of her estate, you know? So I was invited to be in a Whitney show out of the house. And I lived in an environment, so I reconstructed my dining room, you know, which was all covered of parachute materials, and then I staged my death and the metaphor. Everything's a metaphor too. There's so many metaphors in the work. So the last dish, instead of, I was thinking of the fairy tale, Sleeping Beauty. You know, I think there's a lot to fairy tales actually. And Sleeping Beauty dying with a needle, and this way was my staple gun, right? So I died and resurrected as Justine, who was quite violent at the beginning and a surprise, but then once she had her position, she could be back to some Colette ways, you know. Lumière keeps evolving. They come to me from my inner side again, you know, that it's just like a calling. It's almost like being a medium and hearing a message. And she came after September 11, and she's about getting to the essence of life. So Lumière is about lightness. It's about, you know, light is invisible. Light has no weight, you know, but light changes everything. You know, shedding light on something transforms everything. It's about transformation. So I think that's our inspiration. And when the towers fell, there was those light sculptures, you remember?
I do.
I felt that was really appropriate. When I begin a persona, they usually, well, they take time to develop, but at a certain point, it's a very clear image and it's a very clear look. Then almost organically, I go back to the usual Colette, you know? But when I had Olympia, for example, the House of Olympia, when I came back from Berlin permanently and Munich, I felt like, you know, there was a need for, there was a lot of political art going on, and I felt that was not elevating the spirit. That was like art going to the level of, you know.
Politics.
Yeah, politics and the news, you know. So I created like the salon, I created very Baroque dressing up, and also felt the sexes were in trouble. You know, men didn't know how to be men, and women didn't know how to be women, and I felt we don't have to give up chivalry to be women, you know. So I had, and I brought back the gown and good manners. When Lumiere came, I had pink hair, and I did it religiously as a work for many months. It was written up in the Times. I'm exploring it as I'm doing it, and my art reveals it to me. You know, my art always reveals it to me. And when something is revealed, the inner sight, I try to manifest it visually. My outfit is actually very minimal for me today. I was running late, and I knew I wasn't going to the ball, but I was going to an interview. We're talking about art. We're not talking about fashion. And so I kept it light, ran out of the house, didn't put too much attention to it. I did wear gloves because I didn't have time for a manicure.